Hey, welcome back. So we'll see how this goes with the. Is this distracting if I have this up in the back the whole time? I like it because like my head. See how my head's like perfectly in the indent of it. um, um, but I don't know if it's distracting. Then I thought it would be kind of fun to have like a little channel motto to have in the background of the vlogs. But maybe it'll be weird every week to see that. But whatever. I said last week that I was gonna try to do like one topic, but I got like 3 topics, so I'm just gonna do it. I was thinking about Christianity more, so like that's gonna be the first part of this video, is just like religion stuff. Because I did a video, I think it was a Pagel video, where I talked about it, and I kind of liked talking about it, and I was thinking about it more in the shower today. So I was like, I have a good topic, I think. Well, yeah, I did a Pagel video that was like 20 minutes long, and I was kind of rambling about this idea, but I'm going to try to cement it a little bit better. I've been a Christian my whole life, and I've been in the church the whole life, and something that you'll always hear is, like, kind of to be a good Christian, or to be, like, happy with your life, you need to read the Bible every day. You need to pray every day. You need to have Christian people around you. You need to be like immersed in this Christian culture. And none of that has ever helped me, really. The more I live my life, the more I kind of disagree with that idea. And it's always just for me. Like, if it's good for you, then I'm happy for you, if it helps you. The thought that came to me that helped me understand, like, why, okay, reading the Bible every day and praying every day and thinking about God every day wasn't helping me, was this idea of, like, doing those things feels like I'm brainwashing myself. There's probably a term for that. Like, I'm not saying anything new, obviously, ever. But if you have the thought that you can do this with any philosophy, if you're a Muslim and you read the Quran every day, if you're a Buddhist and you read the Buddhist book or whatever, I don't know. I don't think there is a Buddhist book. I actually like looked it up once, and I was like, what's the Buddhist book? Because I wanted to read it, but I don't think there is one. Anyway. And you surround yourself with all Buddhist people, and obviously you're gonna believe whatever that thing is because you're in it every day. It's like you read the Quran every day, it's going to be the most important book to you, because otherwise you're creating cognitive dissonance. Why would I be reading this book every day if it's not the most important book? Some Christians would say, well, like, and this is kind of a thought that I've had, and I don't even know what the answer is, but, like, should I be brainwashing myself? Like, if I want to believe this, and this is a way to help me believe it, maybe I should just brainwash myself, because you can never know. And Christianity does seem to help people, like, process death and life and everything. So maybe it could help me if I brainwash myself. But once you have that thought, it never works, because you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing. So you kind of have to do it and also just not be conscious of it. But at that point, I can't. That's why it doesn't work for me, but it can work for other people. And if other people are doing it, I try not to judge them and be like, well, if it's helping you and you're being a good person, I'm glad you're doing that, but it won't work for me. Noticing, like, whenever I talk about anything, I always say, like, oh, it's working for you, but it won't work for me. I always find a way out of it. Like, oh, that's not going to work for me, because I can think my way out of believing anything. I don't know why I do that, but, like, when I was talking about the meaning of life, like, 2 years ago or whatever, I was like, oh, your meaning can work for you, but, like, it doesn't work for me. Like, if I have a family, it wouldn't work for me. Like, having a family, that's stupid. But, like, it's okay for you, but not for me. So here's my thought. I still want to be a Christian. And I'm going to make the case for not doing that. And I hope, like, this is something I hear all the time at church, and I hope, like, I can be good enough to be, if someone brings it up, I want to kind of talk or just, like, have a little bit of a rebuttal and be like, I don't, like, so they'll say, like, you got to be in the Word every day, and you got to pray every day. I want to be like, okay, but, like, that won't work for me. And here's why. And for me, I call this kind of like a Christian Rumspringa. Like, I'm a Christian, so obviously I have to read the Bible and know what it says. Otherwise, what am I doing? The obvious argument to make is like, well, the Pharisees were in the Word every day, and they were terrible people. And that's what I see around. Like, the worst people in the world are the people who are like super into the Bible, like too much. Because a Christian might, like, if you, when you have an argument with somebody like this, if you say, like, well, you keep telling me, like, I gotta pray every day and I gotta do the Bible every day, they'd be like, well, I'm not telling you should. This is something like argument that would always be made for Christians is like, well, I'm not telling you to do it, but, like, if you do it, you're gonna be happier. And I don't like that I keep bringing up this gay thing, but like a Christian, like a good Christian would say, like, oh, you, like, we love you if you're gay, and, like, you can be gay if you want, but, like, if you're not gay, you're gonna be happier or something. I don't know if this is interesting to anybody except me, but I just thinking I didn't know what else to talk about today. I have nothing going on. I got a match on Tinder, and I sent her a message, but she didn't message me back. I'll talk about that later. What are we always supposed to do as Christian? What would Jesus do? Jesus, it's interesting that he knows the Bible, obviously, but in the Bible it never mentions him, like, reading it. I think he probably didn't read it, like, once he was out of his adolescence, where, like, he was learning it and from the rabbis or whatever. After that, like, they didn't have books around like we do now, so he probably didn't read it that much. What did he do? He was, like, out with the stinky fishermen, being like, I like you guys are awesome, like, let's hang out and talk about, like, being good people. That's all he did. Why do I keep thinking Protestants? Prostitutes. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cliche to talk about Jesus this way, but, like, he would hang out with the fishermen and the prostitutes and the tax collectors, and he'd kind of be like, those church people kind of suck, right? And he'd be, like, hanging out with them and having fun and being like, those church people suck, and you guys are cool. Let's be good people and hang out. That's the lesson of Christianity. One of them is, as a Christian, you're supposed to be in the world and be part of it and just be a good person. It's like, that sounds priggish to say, because it's like, well, isn't that what everybody else is doing? Like, oh, I'm a Christian and I'm trying to be a good person. Isn't everybody doing that? Yes. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. So yeah, the whole point is, like, I've decided, and I'm not going to feel bad about it, because I guess maybe in the past I did feel bad about not reading the Bible every day or something. What I do is, like, once a year, I'll just read through the New Testament. I'll listen. And then I take my Rumspringa, my Christian Rumspringa, where I experience other books and other philosophies and other parts of life, and I go to the board game thing where nobody there is a Christian. Like, that's good. And I'm not going to be, like, evangelizing to the board game people and be like, you guys got to be Christian. That's not what Jesus did. he didn't say, like, you guys have to be Christian, obviously, because that wasn't even a thing. He was just like, be good people. Love your neighbor. Help people. That's all you have to do to be a Christian. You don't have to be like, oh, there's this guy named Jesus and you have to believe in him to get to heaven. I don't want to do that. And sometimes as a Christian, the pastors will preach about, like, you gotta go out and talk about Jesus to everybody. No, you don't have to do that. People are gonna find out that you're a Christian eventually. Just be a good person and say, like, hey, I'm a Christian. No, don't say that. I don't know. Cut that part out. I've taken my Christian Rumspringa, and I read Anna Karenina, and I read Team of Rivals, and I read a confession, and I just downloaded the Bible again, so I'm going to read the New Testament now. It's going to be the next book that I read. And then I'll go back to my Rumspringa. And I feel like that's a good way to live. I don't want to be the person who's Christian crazy, Jesus crazy. Ugh, everybody's got to love Jesus all the time and think about Jesus all the time. I don't know. I mean, it's fine if that's how you are and if it helps you. But it's too much. All the church stuff and the Jesus Bible stuff, it's too much. And when you see the worst people in the world are the modern day Pharisees, the people who are obsessed about the book and Jesus, and I don't think Jesus wanted us to be that way. I mean, I know we all create a version of Jesus in our heads as Christians and be like, oh, Jesus wouldn't like this and like this. But that's my version of Jesus. I think we're kind of allowed to do that too, because this will be the last thing I say. I'd have to get to my next part. It's super frustrating to me that the New Testament, the stuff that Jesus says, there's like not that much. He doesn't say that much. And in the four Gospels, they repeat like the stories over and over again. And I kind of hate that. I'm like, if someone came in here and he said, like, I'm Jesus, like, I'm the Son of God, and I believed him, I would follow him around and write down everything he said. Everything he did, like, oh, he filled up his gas to a half tank today, I'm going to write that down. Everything he did, I would write it down. Because, like, and it's frustrating that they didn't do that. They were just kind of hanging out with Jesus. And sometimes he would tell stories and they just wouldn't write it down. Write everything down. I want to know everything about him. There literally should have been one of the 12 disciples who just constantly asked Jesus questions like, Jesus, what do you think? Like, I stubbed my toe. What should I do? Jesus, I have a hangnail. What should I do? Jesus, I lost my power last night, and what should I do about that? And just keep writing. That's what I would do. But that's stupid. Anyway, part 2, dating stuff. I was feeling kind of bad today. It's starting to get me down. I'm not depressed yet, but it's been 5 or 6 months with the app or whatever, and nothing. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing a good job or whatever. This thing happens to me that sometimes happens is like now this is such a big part of, it's taking up a big space in my brain, this whole dating thing, and like, oh, you gotta meet people and stuff, that like now every time I experience like, oh, a TV or a commercial, sometimes it'll be filtered through this new lens that I have. So like there's this commercial for this like this new show that like looks stupid, like I forget what it's called. It was like, oh, girls being girls or something. And it's just a show about like, it's like that show Girls on HBO. Like, I mean, it's fine if you like those shows, but and it's just like always about relationship stuff, and they're like, oh, my boyfriend did this and I'm sad, and oh, my relationships are bad. I'm a 20-something and I can't even figure it out. And I'm like, but you're normal, so like, what are you complaining about, kind of? I see those things and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not normal. I've never been normal. They're like at a bar talking to their friends about stuff, and I'm like, well, so frustrating. It's like, you're experiencing life right there. Why can't you appreciate what you have there? And I'm like, of course, you can always look back and be like, well, why am I not appreciating like this nice apartment and this nice job? I know. Just what I do. So I never want to make a video longer than 30 minutes. I've changed my mind. I used to be 20 minutes, but now it's going to be 30 minutes. And I think Samantha told me, like, oh, long videos are fine, so it's like, it's your fault. I'm going to make longer videos. Because I keep thinking of things. I remember whenever I talked about Flatland, I really like Flatland. It's about... And the book I'm reading now, Death's End, they do something similar with the third dimension and the fourth spatial dimension, where they talk about it. Flatland always sticks out to me as just like, I don't know how to explain it, but it helped. Flatland is just like a big analogy for how to understand the fourth spatial dimension, if it exists. Maybe it doesn't, who knows. Flatland is about two-dimensional beings who live in a two-dimensional world, completely flat. So all they see is lines. All they see is one dimension. Because as three-dimensional beings, all we can see is two dimensions. We can't see three dimensions. Like, you can't see behind your TV. But if a fourth-dimensional being came into a three-dimensional world, it would be like if a three-dimensional being came into a two-dimensional world, which is like if a circle or if a sphere came into a plane, it would just be like, I don't know. I don't want to explain all Flatland. It's really cool, but well, Flatland's a weird book because like it has a lot of political, like, oh, the triangles are, or the circles are like the head of the society, and that's the weird part, but it's kind of fun. Like this kind of weird 19th century like weirdo just made like a really cool book about shapes. I guess the reason why I was feeling bad today is because I feel like look at me and then look at like the girly girl show. Like, I can never be in that sphere of reality. Like, I'm so not a normal person. I can't go to like a bar and talk about like, oh, let's get our life together and we're gonna do a thing. I can't even, it's hard for me to explain this, but like, I know you might be thinking like, oh, well, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Like, you can meet somebody, or you can meet people who like board games and just like staying home. But I don't want to meet another person like me who's gonna make me just more like, I don't know. Like, this is what I've been talking to all the therapists always. They're just like, why don't you just like chill and just like be you? And I'm like, what? I want to be better than me. I want to be the best person ever. What? I don't want to just be this person that I was. Kind of sucked the past 28 years. Like, if I meet somebody like me, we're just gonna isolate ourselves even more, and then I just don't want that. I don't want it. You have a life, like, you have to be part of society or whatever. You have to do it. I want to do it. I'm not doing it. So that's why I was feeling bad. Obviously, because there's my world of isolation and being weird and never doing anything. And then there's the world that I want to join. And then every time I get close to it, it's like a magnet. It's like pushing me away. Like, I know it's like, it's not a great analogy because like when I went on the date, I was kind of doing it. But then the date didn't go well. So like, I mean, it went fine, but I've never had a second date. So it's like, well, isn't that proof that like you can't do it? You had one date, but you can never do the second date. So that's like you going and trying and then it pushing you back and being like, well, see, you couldn't do it. You couldn't be a part of it. Like, you thought you're weird and you can't be part of the normalness that you want to. It's a hard thing to talk about because, like, I still want to be my weird part self, but I want aspects of normalcy that I don't have, which is, like, I've spent, like, the past month in this apartment and it's fine and I like it, but it's weird that I don't do anything. It's very weird, right? That I don't have any experiences with other people. I always get hyperbolic, like, I went to church and then whatever. So I got a match on Tinder, like the first one in a month, and she didn't respond, and she's not going to. But I sent her a message, and I was gonna share it with you because, like, you're my friends, and I don't have friends. Like, you're on that girly girl show, like, you're my girlfriend at the bar, and, like, I'm telling you what's happening. I kind of want to do that. I want to share it with somebody. And be like, oh, what do you think? Like, what do I do next? I feel kind of bad because Samantha gave me advice to do the smiling picture, and I didn't use it. I still haven't. I'm sorry. I feel bad because, like, I ask for advice and then I don't use it. But, okay, here's the... I kind of want to show you the picture, but I know I shouldn't, like her picture, because... Okay, here's what I said. We just matched, and I always talk first. They never talk first, but whatever. I'm fine with that. So I said, hey, blank, you seem nice. If you ever want to talk sometime, let me know. That seems like that's like my standard thing of, like, okay. And then I said, wow, that painting in your third picture is cool. Did you paint that? It's pretty good. I would say, okay, so the picture is her in front of Starry Night by Van Gogh. So I'm going to make a joke here, and if you see if you like it. Wow, that painting in your third picture is cool. Did you paint that? It's pretty good. I would just say maybe next time, don't make it so depressing. Maybe add a rainbow or a cozy cottage or something. Or if you're going to be depressing, at least make it like a vampire or something. People like vampire stuff. Just a thought, but you're the expert. And then in parentheses I put, it's risky to make a joke on the first message because you might think I'm actually an idiot, but I'm not, I promise. I know what Swoopy Sky is by Van Gogh. And I spelled Van Gogh wrong. I like Swoopy Sky. So what do you think about that? And she didn't respond. But I can't meet people. I'm trying. The thing is, I feel weird talking about this, but she's 23, which is, like, too young probably for me. So if she doesn't respond, it's okay. What I was actually going to do is I was going to wait until my birthday when I'm 29. I was going to move the limit up to 24 because I feel like 5 years is a good... It's too weird to be younger than that. And I have to remember 9/11. That's my rule. But anyway, I've talked too long, but Samantha said it was okay. So yeah, the usual suspects again. So Samantha, Dalton, and Mark commented this week. It's pretty cool. Thanks for commenting again. If you made it this far in this stupid video. You all had good comments, and it's definitely, I think 2 of the videos that I recorded yesterday in Let's Play videos were like topics that I thought of when I was talking to you guys. And I was like, oh, I have more to say, I'll just make a video about it. So the next game I'm going to play is Final Fantasy 12. I played that yesterday. I don't know why I did that, but it was kind of a disaster, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was feeling better. Like, I was feeling bad this morning about all the dating stuff and being like, you're never going to be normal. But I was feeling better. You know what I think I kind of want to do this. This is like the sixth topic today. every week maybe mention something that made me happy. So I was I was feeling bad, and then I listened to this thing I forgot that I really liked, which is The Lonely Island, which, like, I'm not a super big Lonely Island person, but they made a half-hour long special about the Bash Brothers, Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco, and they have a couple songs there that I really make me happy. Maybe I'll play part of it that I like, and we'll just end on that. This is the part that I like. It's like 30 seconds long, so let's just listen and have fun, because it makes me happy. And I remember last week, Samantha talked about, like, oh, you looked happy when you were watching Owl City, and I was like, yeah, and I like looking at myself, so okay, here's being happy. I like this. This is stupid. Why am I doing this? Acknowledging our feats via human connection. Less bash, less monster bash. Hit a tater out the stadium for monster cash. I feel like I have to explain why I like that now, because it's kind of, watching it back with no context is kind of like, why do you like that? Then assign the cast. Okay, 1 minute on this. No. I like it, and it's fine, and we just watched it, or maybe we didn't, and I cut it out. But I'll see you tomorrow, and thank you for everything that you do for me. Bye. Jesus likes cursing.